Hi, Barry.
Morning, everyone. Oh,
So I let everybody in that's been in the waiting room, and then people, I'll let them as they come in. I'll just allow them in. Okay. Okay. Yay. So do you want me to get started? Perfect. So Dunjay, welcome to the 2024 Northern Links to Learning Virtual Forum. My name is Mathieya Alatini, and I'm zooming in from Whitehorse. So Dunjay, ING, Mathieya, Shun Kajat EJ, I'm from the Crow clan. Kluan Man Kai Kweche, so I'm from the Kluani area here in the Yukon. Kwanlin Yunin J, I live here in Whitehorse. Ama Gudia Uye, my mother is Mary Jane. Ata Ken Wilson Uye, my father is Ken Wilson. Asua Tutlesen Uye, my grandmother is is Lena Johnson. And Atia Fred Chambers Uyena, my grandfather was or is Fred Chambers, and he's passed now. So just introducing myself traditionally as a Southern Shoshone woman from Kluani country, Kluani First Nation here in the Yukon, and I am zooming in from the shared traditional territories of Kwanlin Dun First Nation here in Whitehorse and Ta'an Quechan Council, also here in Whitehorse, Yukon. So pleased to be able to MC or let you guys facilitate this conversation today and get you guys through a very important agenda and update you on a lot of work that's been going on through Cando. I wanted to acknowledge that all of us are coming from different traditional territories, and I would ask that you, in the comments, in the chat, if you could please put your name and the nation that you're from, and the traditional territory that you're zooming in from. That would be much appreciated, and we can all get to know each other. One of the other things that I'd ask people to do is put their full name into their identifier on the Zoom. A lot of you do not have your images on when your camera's off. So if you could please update, I think you just click where your name is, and there's an ellipses, 3 dots that show up in the top right-hand side, and you can update your name. And if you could put your full name and maybe the organization that you're with so that we can identify you as a speaker, call on you if that's necessary. Okay. So we've got people from Yellowknife, Coast Salish Territory, Osongees in Victoria, Esquimalt, Treaty 5 Territory. Nice. Alberta from the UK. Oh, work a lot in Alberta. Wonderful. Nice to see people from across the country. We do have an elder that is going to be joining us, I believe. Patrick Lightning. Okay. Is it Rick or Patrick?
Rick's fine.
Okay. Did we meet at James and Ashley's wedding?
Yes, we did.
How are you?
I'm good. I just gotta answer the door real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Indian country is so small. I'm like, I know that guy. Wonderful. So Rick is going to do our opening prayer. Thank you guys for all putting your names in there. If you have any trouble updating your name, I think Tara, as the host, can update your name. And if you want to send her a message directly. See some familiar names. Hi, Ethan. Denise.
There, I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Thank you. So we do really want to recognize that we're all coming from different time zones and different places in the country. And Rick is going to get us started in a good way and set our intentions with an opening prayer. So I think you can all, if you can, turn your camera on and participate. I encourage you to stand up. I'm at a standing desk, so that's good. Okay, go ahead, Rick.
Ay, tatamihin stehe mi katakis kami na ano ta. Tagakis ka o ta pisan pesagiwet. Papa maskasiga sun paskamos to sawas sektotian. Maskatiwino kanitaisino. My name is White Bear. I come from the Buffalo Trail family, and I come from the Bear Hills people here in Musquetees. And it's another beautiful day. And it's always good, like this, I always tell people, we don't realize when we get up in the morning and our feet touch the floor, that's the beginning of our day ceremony. In that day, people live, people die, people get married, break up, babies are born. All these things are amazing things happening in that day. And then we don't realize how important each day is. We just take days as we get up. Oh, another day, but every day is so important. And when you get older, you realize how more important the day is, because you get up to see, and you get the Creator gives you another day, and we give thanks to have that day. As you get older and older, each day becomes more important, because that's the time you have to spend with your family and to create memories before you leave this physical world. So that's something to share today about what day it is. I'll say a short prayer and a blessing song, and then for everyone across the land on Mother Earth. We talk about Turtle Island a lot, I hear that, but I think we need to expand to Mother Earth, to the people around the world that's out there. Because in our prayers, we say Mother Earth, and we always refer to her as that, as our mother. And that we need to bring that back, and say that in our prayers, even in general discussions. Instead of Turtle Island, we need to talk about Mother Earth, as all of us are on that. So that's something I wanted to share this morning. Ano tawi ma sewasian. Kami na naskaman minigis kami na. Hawa pati ni tayo sila kwa sa kamaskinan, wistawa pagsitas giyamyo sa nano sa mapigskweta mo. Wat nan mawana ito mon sexuan. Mi nan kwes wapatama, kwes petama, kwes pigskwea. O mata, pagsita, was ka maskinan, o ni tayo sino, peto tetsikota, wistawa giwe no te skate mo. Agwama skate mo, gigiweta mo. Go, wigawa, askiwa. Ang magwetsem no tawi ma sewasian. Sawayim na, tamaga memona no tawi ma sewasian. All my relations, everybody have a beautiful day.
And sheesh, thank you, Shothan. That's so good. Thanks. What a good way to start our morning. And appreciate that. Yes, we are here for another day to experience children. I see somebody getting a hug there. And it's wonderful to be able to share our work and our experience. Again, thank you so much, Rick. Really appreciate seeing you again. That's so nice. And we get to celebrate that James and Ashley are having a baby. Yay. It's exciting. So I'm going to pass it over to Shirley, who is the Cando treasurer and NWT director. Shirley was born and raised in a small Dene community of Nidlo, I hope I said that right, Northwest Territories, which is adjacent to the capital city of Yellowknife. She attended both the federal day school and residential schools in Fort Smith, Northwest Territories, and she has 2 college diplomas in management studies and social worker program. And she is here to welcome and provide some remarks as the Cando treasurer and Northwest Territories director. Thank you, Shirley.
Thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. We just wanted to start with the land acknowledgement. I'm in the Chief Dragi's territory and my community of Dilo, and I belong to the Yellowknife Dene First Nation. And so the Yellowknife Dene First Nation have 2 communities, which is Dilo and Detta. And so I think I was looking at the remarks there. Sarah Lacey, she said that it's the traditional territory of the Yellowknife Dene within the Mufi boundary in the Clecho Nation and traditional lands of the North Lake Métis. So just to give you a little bit of background in the of our Northwest Territories. So Northwest Territories is divided into 5 political regions. They're the Gwich'in, which is in the higher north, then the Satu, Decho, Clecho, and Akecho. And so of those 5 regions, 3 of them have signed on to their settlement agreements with the federal government and the Northwest Territories. And Decho and Akecho are still currently under negotiations. So I did a little bit of research into the GNWT and their mandate for entrepreneurship. And the mandate that they've got are for into 5 regions, categories. And this is to enhance business development in arts, tourism, agriculture, manufacturing, fisheries, and traditional economy. And so tourism is one of the big things here in the Northwest Territories. And some of the top tourist attractions are the Nahanni National Park, the Wood Buffalo National Park. We have a lot of Asian tourists that come in for to visit the Aurora Borealis. We're called the land of the midnight sun. And there's awesome fishing right across the Northwest Territories. There's a lot of outfitters. So in the wintertime, we have a carnival, but the carnival is kind of phasing out a little bit now, but the big activity there is dog sledding on the winter roads. And of course, there's a lot of opportunity to go boating and canoeing. And we have the biggest caribou migration. So I think all 3 territories have the biggest caribou migration. So they have calving grounds in the Yukon, Alaska, and then they come all the way through the territories into Nunavut. And so the part of the enhancement of business development, the government of Northwest Territories offer up to $30,000 to expand current businesses. and up to 25,000 to advance research or product development. On the board that I sit on with the Acacho Business Development Corp, we fund small businesses, and a lot of small businesses have asked for top up on their current loans to expand or to buy capital, you know, some products. And so one of the business opportunities that Aboriginal people have always been involved in have been in fishing, hunting, trapping, harvesting. And so, and the other big economy in the Northwest Territories is the mining sector. We have 3 diamond mines in Northwest Territories. And in those diamond mines, they have what they call the impact benefit agreements with the First Nations. And part of that impact benefit agreements, they have business opportunities. So that means that First Nations have an opportunity to acquire contracts. With the Yellowknives Dene First Nation, we have what they call an evergreen contract, meaning that we have a contract for the life of mine for housekeeping and catering. And I believe there are other contracts that the other First Nations also hold, which is site services, catering, and we also have an opportunity for our First Nations to teach their cultural knowledge to the remote workers. So we have everybody it's a fly in, fly out remote sites for the mines. And part of that is that we share our traditional knowledge with the fly-in workers they come from all over the world, right across Canada. So in territories, I think the other big industries are, of course, the government of Northwest Territories. They have the biggest employee base. We have the schools and the justice system, and the healthcare, the hospitals. And part of the traditional economy are people actually sell a lot of their arts and crafts, like mucklucks, fur mitts, moccasins, earrings, purses. And a lot of our people actually still retain their language. And we have 11 official languages in the Northwest Territories. And every time an elder or someone that English is their second language, they offer the interpretation. So you have an interpreter right at the hospital that can provide you that service. It's not only at the hospital, it's at the schools, it's at the justice system as well. So thankfully, we still have our language, which is pretty strong. And a lot of people did lose their language through the residential school, which I did when I went to residential school. I went to residential school when I was 5 years old until grade 6. So, but my mom and dad were traditional hunters and trappers. The English was their second language. So I had to speak to them in the language for sure. So I just wanted to say that the Aboriginal people have a long history of being self-sufficient and self-reliant. I read a few books about when Yellowknife was first starting in 1930s and 40s. They have a diamond mine here, and that's how the Yellowknife city started, was because of people coming up here to do prospecting for the diamond, for the giant mine. And there's a book called The History of Yellowknife, and there are some stories in there about Aboriginal people actually providing a lot of country foods to the prospectors and their family. So they were their earliest entrepreneur for sure. And like, you know, of course there was the fur trade, but just recently here in Yellowknife, it was a lot of people that were providing caribou meat and fish and ducks and all of that kind of stuff for a lot of people that were just starting to live here. So we do have a lot of people that are business minded, and mostly the economy for them was to buy boats and kickers and skidoos and just to be on the land and to be self-sufficient and to provide for their family that way. And so I think they lived a pretty good life early on in the early years of them starting out to acquire what they needed to continue to provide for themselves and for their family. So I just wanted to welcome you all to this forum where you're going to be talking about entrepreneurship. And there are a lot of opportunities that we have. And what I wanted to say was that as part of the Truth and Reconciliation that is happening in Canada with the First Nations people, is that government needs to open the door for Aboriginal people to take on a lot of the government contracts. And as part of the reconciliation process, that they need to build capacity in the community, and they and they need to provide the business opportunities. And part of, you know, there's so much that the government can actually piecemeal out their contracts so that it could go down into the community at the you know, for the average person in the community to take advantage of some of those contracts. They don't need to be massive contracts. They can break it down, because the reason why I say that is because I worked with the diamond mines here in the Northwest Territories, and they always gave out huge contracts. And a lot of the feedback from the community was that you need to break those huge contracts down so that we have an opportunity to bid on some of those contracts. And so some of them are like the, say for example, electricians. The electrical contract is so huge that they have to service all of the mines. And they're going like, just piece out some of that contract so that our First Nations people can bid on that. And so I think there is a lot of opportunity for the government to do that, to give the First Nations opportunities to go into being self-reliant and self-sufficient. And part of that is to work in partnership so that we, I went to one conference about a year ago, and the chief at that time that was speaking was saying that, you know, our businesses are so new, we're so young. Like the oldest business may be 50 years old, and a lot are just starting out now. And it's true, like Aboriginal people, we don't have a long history of business in Canada, of long-standing businesses in Canada. You see other businesses that have been there for a couple of 100 years, but Aboriginal people are just up and starting to get involved, to be in businesses now. And we need to keep that trend going. And I think we can do that with the partnership with the governments, with industry. to help build our capacity with our young and up and coming entrepreneur. So I just wanted to say that there are a lot of opportunities, and the seed program that the federal government provides, that's a very good opportunity as well to get started. And so with that, I just wanted to make those remarks that we do have a lot of opportunity going forward, and we just need to find our partnership, and we can go from there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shirley.
Yes.
Really appreciate that overview of the economy and the economic drivers in NWT and the role that Indigenous people and our businesses can take in really taking a seat at the economic table. I really appreciate those words of encouragement, because we're seeing a movement across Canada of Indigenous people really taking a seat at the table, taking part in participating in big joint ventures. And I think it's these types of events like this learning forum today that will build that capacity and help build that momentum for our Indigenous businesses to be ready to participate and to really take in those opportunities and build economy. So I'm going to run through the agenda, but I think one of the, reflecting on the comments that you made, Shirley, I'm just going to put a item in the chat for people to respond to, our question around the economic drivers that you're seeing for Indigenous peoples in the regions that you're working in, because I think that's one of the things that we can all offer is participating in events like this, but seeing what are those opportunities in the other regions across Canada, because it's big. We've got such a big country, and it's our governance systems are so different in all of our communities. And even though we have some same taglines, I'm like, Yukon, I thought we were the land of the midnight sun. That's awesome. So I put that in there. If you guys can just reflect on what those economic drivers are for your community. Thank you for joining us, Shirley. I see that you have a board meeting that you have to run to.
Yes.
I'm
Thank you
gonna
so much.
I'm going to quickly run through the agenda and just a couple of logistics. So the Northern Links to Learning virtual forum is an opportunity to really deliver dynamic technical training for First Nation economic development officers and land managers to enhance their ability to undertake successful land and economic development ventures. This is going to be recorded, so each of these sessions will be kind of discrete sessions that can be added to the website later or shared later. So we'll treat each of these sections as discrete sections and learning opportunities. So with that, we do have a little bit of time to ask questions at the end of each of the sessions. So I really encourage you to write down your questions as you're witnessing the presentations, and use the hand up icon at the bottom. So it's part of the, in Zoom, it is under the React, if your Zoom is updated, and the menu bar at the bottom, and there should be a item that says raise hand. And after you ask your question, you have to lower your hand. It doesn't automatically do it for you. So there's that. There are some door prizes that are going to be offered. So your attendance today puts you in the draw for a $500 gift card. And I'm not sure what the gift card is for, but it's $500 gift card. And there's also a $100 gift card draw for completing the evaluation. So at the end of the session, if you could please complete the evaluation, and I believe Danielle or Tara will be distributing that for individuals, your name will go into a draw. And we'll hopefully have the draw for the $500 gift card at the end. So you have to be here to win. Yay. We will have our speakers share their screen, and I believe Tara is our technical person. Yay. Yeah. And we have the one lunch break at 12 o'clock Mountain Time. And it's only a half-hour break, but please feel free to just go to the bathroom and do what you need to do during the throughout the sessions. And I'm going to quickly run through the agenda. So we have a session on technical writing, and that will be presented by John Johnstone. So that's going to be one of our first presentations. The Indigenous participation plans is the next presentation, and we have 3 speakers for that. Then we have the lunch break. And the Youth Economic Development panel, we have 3 guests that are going to be speaking on youth in leadership or youth in the economy, participating in the economy. And we have Samuel Marty as the moderator for that panel. The second to last session of the day is on the Community Economic Development Initiative, so CDI or CD. I can't remember how you guys pronounce that acronym. And Jordan is going to be presenting on that. And one of the big things that Shirley had just mentioned is all of these massive contracts that are coming up. And one of the ways that we see our communities being able to take advantage of these large offers is through joint ventures. So the last session of the day is on joint ventures, and we have 3 speakers that are going to cover that as well. And I think that one is, I'm interested to hear this presentation and excited for that one. And then that's the close. So we will close between around 3 o'clock today, and depending on the interest and your questions, it may be a little bit sooner than that, but it won't be later than that. So thank you. And I'm going to pass it over to our first session on technical writing. And John Johnstone, the Associate Director of Procurement for Cando, is going to give an overview of the technical writing that economic development officers and community administrators are often tasked with writing. So the grant proposals, the funding updates on projects, participating in procurement, looking at economic development plans, those strategic plans, all those common activities, they all require technical writing. So I'm going to hand it over to John, and if you'd like to take it away, thanks.
Great, yeah.